Hey guys, how's it going? In this lesson, we are going to talk about algebra, and I'm going to show you and provide you some lingo when it comes to algebra. So sometimes people ask the question, what is a variable? What is an expression? I'm going to explain that to you today. So let's get into it. So basically, an algebraic expression is basically a mixture of numbers and what they call variables that represent values and also include what they call an algebraic operation. So let me show you what that is. And it's very simple. So if I have, say, 5x, that's 5 times x. So like I said, the variable can represent a value, and it can be a symbol that represents a value. So that would be your x. Your algebraic expression would be 5x, because basically this is 5 times x. So an algebraic expression has a number, which is 5. It has a variable, which is x, and it includes a algebraic operation, which is multiplication. So when it comes to algebra, when you look at the x, a lot of people look at that as multiplying, but when you're dealing with variables, x and an x, if you wanted to say 5 times x, 5x and an x, some people would get this confused with another x. So there are multiple ways that they try to show multiplication besides using the x. So let me show you that. So you could have 5x, just the numbers next to each other and the variable next to each other. You could have 5.x, the dot represents multiplication, or you could have certain things in parentheses. Say parentheses 5x, that's 5 multiplied by x. Or you could have the x in parentheses multiplied by the 5, or you could have both in parentheses. All of this represents multiplication, so you'll need to know that when you're doing performing algebra. So that is an example of a variable and an expression. So let's get into some more vocabulary. So we talked about algebraic expressions, we talked about variables. So say, for instance, you have 4x to the third. So say you're looking at x to the third. This is what you would call an exponent. So an exponent consists of a base. So the base is x. And it also consists of a power, which is 3. So basically you have the base x raised to the power of 3. And say that x could be 2. So if we say 2 to the 3, that is basically 2 times 2 times 2. You're multiplying 2 by itself 3 times. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So 2 to the third power is 8. So in this case, your 2 would be your base, and your 3 would be your power. So we've talked about variables, we talked about expressions, we've talked about base, we've talked about power. So also, when you're multiplying, say 7 times 6, what you're multiplying, the 7 and the 6, those are both considered factors. So the 7 and the 6 are what they call factors. When you multiply 7 times 6 equals 42. The answer that you get from those factors is called a product. So 42 is your product. When you're multiplying numbers or variables together, those are factors. When you multiply those together and get a result, that is called a product. So also when you're evaluating, you're going to hear this word a lot in algebra, evaluate. When you're evaluating an expression, basically all that means is you're just trying to solve the problem. So evaluating an expression means you're trying to solve that problem. So these are some of the vocabulary that you're going to experience in algebra. This is the beginning of algebra, so just trying to get you acclimated to certain acronyms and vocabulary in order for you to feel comfortable while you're doing this. And so in this lesson, we spoke about variables, expressions, bases, power, products, factors, and the ability to evaluate or solve an expression. So I hope this helps. If this video helped you in any kind of way, I say pass it along to someone else to be able to help someone else. Please like and share, comment, let me know in the chat what you think about what it is that I'm doing, and we'll see you in the next video.